Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It is Monday, the 31st. We got a lighter day ahead of us. Part of that is because a lot of the end of the month flow happened on Friday, and Friday really was quite an interesting day. A lot of flow, although ultimately just kind of going along with what it's been going and going higher. But anyways, a lot of that end of month flow is going to be gone. And, London is on vacation right now. Not a whole lot of economic numbers. So we'll probably be able to relax today. But let's look at the charts. Coming over here to the volume profile. I need to just make this always be big or something like that. Okay. So as you can see on the E-mini, overnight, gapped up, came back quite a bit, but ultimately moving up into the close. There was a couple of headlines kind of coming in, causing some, excuse me, the live squawk came in over there, and it's like really loud for some reason. I need to just turn that down a little bit. Okay. Anyways, so there was a couple of headlines. One of them was that the Republicans are like not anywhere close to making a deal with the Democrats on the stimulus, and the market still really believes that we need the stimulus. So they didn't like make a big deal out of it, but we did have this push down that eventually recovered, and then over the weekend, once again, gap up higher, gap closed. So we'll see where we go from there. Treasuries reversing quite a bit on Friday, and now they also gapping up overnight. So the Treasuries continue to confound me. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Need to come back and fix those charts up so we can look at spreads. Gold marginally higher. Or sorry, oil marginally higher. You have to excuse me, I'm having some indigestion here. And gold is still in the range. Maybe it'll move higher though. And copper moving up once again. As long as that copper remains bullish, we're probably in an okay spot. So that's where we're at. Good morning, speculator Seth. You are 5 minutes or so early. I know, right? Well, I try to be starting like exactly at 6:20, if not 6:15. I don't know why some days I've been taking longer to get ready in the shower, but today we didn't do that, so that's good, and hopefully that continues throughout the week. So, let's check on a few things. Turn on text-to speech first. Well, power it up, rather. Still in review. We've got channel memberships coming. You can do the $5 membership right now, but I just want to make it so that you guys can post the stickers. So I went back and made a $1 one. If you do the $5 one, you'll get the Bitcoin charts so that you don't have to go over to Patreon. So you can get all the perks in one spot. So I think that's what we're going to do going into the near future. I mean, I'll keep the Patreon running, but I can make posts that only members can see on YouTube, so I'm going to do that. but they haven't approved the $1 subscription yet, so I wouldn't necessarily bother unless you want the Bitcoin. Okay. Oh, now my mouse is all jacked up. There we go. So we do get some Canadian numbers at the bottom of the hour, but nothing significant. Building permits, raw materials. Nothing that we're too concerned about.
Winston's mom says, clip, and I probably did that wrong. $5 subscription and $1 subscription.
Yeah. So let's see here. Let me see if I can see what it shows. I'm trying to. Oh, I have to come in here and I'll show you when, because I'm excited about this. Just because on Twitch. Oh, why do I not have it over here? Okay. On Twitch, there's a lot of like gamification, and YouTube is starting to bring some of that over. And one of the ways that they're doing that is they're making channel subscriptions available to everybody. So if you're here on the page, you can click join and you'll get the memberships. So right now I have the basic one, which is $4.99 a month. But I was just doing that to see if I could connect the Discord in. So it's not really, I wouldn't do that one unless you want the Bitcoin charts. But the main thing is that I want you guys to be able to use custom emojis. So I uploaded a couple of custom emojis. And when we get more subscribers to the channel, apparently it unlocks more emojis. And then you also get these loyalty badges next to your name. I think that we could change those up a bit, although I'm not sure what we want to do there. Because you only get like 64 pixels, and that's not a lot. Anyways, so probably tomorrow we'll have the $1 subscriptions, and then I will encourage you guys to do the $1 subscription so that you guys can post the emojis. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to make it so that when you use the emoji, it'll play a sound on the text to speech. That's what we're going to do. So there will be some perks to doing it, right? And then as the channel grows, we might, expand the perks as appropriate. Because there will get a certain point at which, there's enough people on the stream that we'll kind of have to use the memberships to kind of filter a little bit. Pretty cool, yeah?
Trader Josh says dope. Anthony K says hi guys.
Hey. But yeah, unless you want access to the Bitcoin charts, I would wait until tomorrow when the new benefits are approved so you can just get it for $1. Okay, so I'm seeing dollar coming down a bit. There's still...
Winston's mom says, will you build a video about the subscription plans? Sound on
yes,
the emojis.
It will.
Duke. Ferret's Duke. We will need a duking sound.
Oh, yeah? Well, I used... So those 4 are the ones that are like get used the most on the Discord. But we can add a ferret. We'll add the when we get more. I think we need 2 people to subscribe first. And the first thing we'll do is we'll find a ferret emoji. Let's go find one. So we can upload it. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah, that one is paid. Okay, there's the Canadian numbers coming through. Hmm. It's not as good as the first one. Let's come and see what this website is, because if it's only like, well, oh, you get a whole pack? I don't know about that one.
Winston's mom says we call the sounds they make duking, but ferrets have a variety of noises they can make. They duke, chirp, chitter, honk, laugh hee 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 hee, and they can bark during periods of extreme stress.
Wait, they can bark? Wow. Man, Baby Yoda looks really dark back there. I don't think I have the camera settings set back to. We were taking photos over the weekend with for my wife's store, so the camera might be a little messed up. I'm too lazy to go change it though. And that light needs to be moved down. Well, might as well move the light right now at least. There, that looks a little better. Let's just make sure that
Winston's mom says my Romy ferret was a chocolate sable with a raccoon mask. My girls, Juliet ferret and Mika ferret, are now all white. Their colors change with time.
I think that we just didn't have this light on as bright. Let's try 40. 30? How about that? That looks a little more like it. Now that light's not so bright, because it was a little too bright for me. Well, I'm gonna have to dig deeper. So I could buy that one. I don't know if that gives me rights to like reuse them, because that one is perfect. Man, so last night, over the weekend, we cooked some brisket, and man, it took forever. It took forever. I like woke up at 6, and then it took me a while to figure the grill out for some reason. And then so I didn't get started until 9, and then it took 12 hours to cook. And so we ate at 9, and then I woke up this morning, and my stomach is like, like I'm like burping and stuff. It's ugh. Okay. Next thing is I think we need to roll over our treasuries. Let me just do it through here? It does. Cool. Yes. Let's roll over. Roll over. Roll over. Okay. Those charts are much better looking. And we should be able to come in here now and see. Yes, the new ones. ZB. ZN. No, ZN down here 12. And ZF. Okay. Very nice liquidity over there in the 10-year as well.
Winston's mom says, was this the first time you cooked a brisket? Did it turn out well, except for the tummy rumblings? I never cooked a brisket, for some reason.
Well, it definitely tasted good. I wouldn't say it was perfect. I mean, it was not. You couldn't pull it apart. So I think there's some work to do there. I think a lot of it though was a piece of cutted meat. I think the cutted meat that I got was just a little bit too big for the circumstances. Okay, so the E-mini is churning back up pretty hard here. Although I have to say the turn down was a little concerning. Anyways, I think the focus going forward though needs to be the sides. I think I need better sides. So is the dollar? So the dollar was moving down. Oh man, the TikTok saga is getting so interesting because now China has imposed some new rule on technology transfers or something. So now they have to approve the deal, and like I don't know if it's going to happen. And Microsoft is probably like, "Oh no, we waited too long." That's still not right. So 120 is too dark. I've never been able to get the lens to open up to 60 to 3.5 though. What's with that? Let's just bring it down a notch. I guess Peter Navarro is on the television right now complaining about China again.
Uzi Knesset says, well damn rollover was a bit of a bitch this morning with the inventory template lol.
Oh, right, because it takes a bit to reload the tick replay stuff, doesn't it? I honestly, I've like been slimming my workspaces down. So like on my treasuries, 2 days max now.
Uzi Knesset says, yeah, I set mine to 3.
Yeah. Because, well, and I split things because my dollar index synthetic was causing problems. So I tried to mix that up a little bit. Have less stuff on this chart. I have less stuff on this chart. I don't have tick replay on this chart at all, whereas I did before. So I've simplified things down a little bit so that I could see a few things. Like my focus now is more the inventory and the currency flows, and that's it. Got rid of most of the other stuff, and of course I flipped over to rhythmic, so I don't have like the tick and all that stuff anymore. Interesting that the E-mini gets stuck at 3509. They were getting a pretty okay up move, and then it just was like, nope, that's all we can do for now. There could be a lot more in there. What do you think about the Treasury movement today, by the way, Uzi? Because I can't make any sense of why they're moving where they are. Oh, wow. They're saying that a deal on TikTok may happen as early as tomorrow. I think it must be that the sale is imminent, and so China is stepping in because they want a piece of it, probably. Probably that's all there is to it, but we'll see.
Uzi Knesset says, to be honest, I've spent the last hour crashing and restarting NT8 and trying to rebuild my works D-pace. I'm all discombobulated right now, tongue out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you had to rebuild the workspace? Dude, yeah. That's interesting. So I haven't had any problems with that indicator crashing things. So the one that messes me up is the dollar index synthetic. But I think that one was messed up because I had like 5 series on that chart too. Okay, so this thing that there could be a deal announced as soon as tomorrow was coming from CNBC's Alex Sherman.
Uzi Knesset says the workspace loaded but would crash on ZB. My workspace is only ZF, ZN, and ZB, but the ZB0920 just kept crashing it.
That's interesting.
Kevin Wimmer says, like I said once before, NinjaTrader is a hot but crazy 10 out of 10 girlfriend which likes to stab you, and Sierra Chart is the nice 8/10 one without brain damage. And I prefer the stable one, lol.
Maybe,
Live Action says, Seth, you own Jigsaw, but do you also pay monthly rent for it?
I pay $50 a month for it. Unless it's like the summer. I can do it on a month to month. So if I know I'm not going to be trading that month, I cancel it and then.
Uzi Knesset says, I managed to get it by closing the ZB chart before everything got juiced up. Rolled over, and fixed it.
Okay, so I have some tips for you on this, Uzi. If we come over here, where did I move my control center to? So if you look at my workspaces, you notice that I've got a bunch open. I should actually close this one. So I have a one workspace that is literally nothing. There's nothing in it. And then I have a workspace that is minimal, which is basically the Jigsaw bridge. And then I have my inventory workspace. So if something goes wrong with my inventory workspace, I can close it and restart NinjaTrader and it will open up with nothing. Otherwise, if you don't do that, then it might go over to like one of your old workspaces that you don't want, and then it still takes forever to start up, right? So yeah. The movie Black Panther will be aired commercial-free Sunday night on ABC, followed by a tribute to actor Chadwick Boseman. That one's really weird because I had no clue who that was. Never before. I mean, never. I had never seen him before Black Panther, and I kind of thought that the Black Panther movie was just kind of okay. It had the problem that a lot of movies I've noticed, like epic movies, are getting to when they get into their later iterations, is that they just get too long. Too long.
Uzi Knesset says funny enough, that's exactly what I set up after getting it working. I have a workspace with nothing, laid out the same way, so I can just apply templates.
Yeah. It seems to me that if you're just doing like the default ninja stuff, it works like a dream now. But that there are still some weird edge cases that you can get into if you're really doing advanced stuff. And I'm sure that for you, a lot of it is a tick replay. Like this chart with the ES, I had tick replay on that one, and when I refreshed that chart, oh man. Oh man.
T-Bone21 says what's your trading strategy?
That is for me to know and you to find out. Not to be a jerk, but I mean, so this is where I get to go into my long rant. In my opinion, the things that are going to help you out the most in trading is understanding things about the market. For instance, today the Treasuries roll over. That has an effect on markets. Today, London is closed. They're on holiday today in London. That has an effect on markets. Probably, and especially since it's a Monday end of month, because everybody did their end of month flows on Friday. So today, likely, although there's always that chance, you never know, but today, likely to be pretty quiet day, right? So these are all things that you can help you. So how does it help us in this case? Well, it tells us probably there's not going to be a lot of opportunity. We probably don't want to trade, right? So those are the sorts of things that I really rely on for my trading. So to come in and tell you, well, this is my trading strategy, it's not so simple, really, is it? Because it's going to depend on an infinite number of factors about things that I know about the market at that time as to whether or not I want to go long or to go short. I mean, there are some technical edges, like if I think that we're I'm looking for some sort of a momentum setup, I like to watch 10-minute moving average as a potential trigger sometimes because the E-mini in particular seems to react to that moving average. But I only would be taking that if I had a really good idea that because of something else that the market was going to move up, right? So I wish that I could just lay out my strategy and you could all follow it, but the reality of the markets is that it's so complicated, and you really can't just find somebody's strategy and this whole thing that you can just find this technical strategy and do that every day. It's a pipe dream. It doesn't exist. It's something that educators made up so that you'll buy their product, but it doesn't. Markets don't work that way.
Kevin Wimmer says on NinjaTrader the more indicators I had on tick replay, the more memory leak and crashes I had. I had Acme Market Profile, MISPAC for footprint and DT for volume profile.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, I mean that was probably a long time ago though, Kevin. So it was like 3 or 4. Well, let's go look. I'll show you. I'll show you where it was the change. Because there was some major issues.
Uzi Knesset says I am using Acme value candles. That's the one that tossed me upside down, lol.
Oh, really? Well, it can always be those. There can always be custom indicators too, right?
Salim L says UMYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYYY.
Release notes. So I think that it was, well, when are these ones? So this was 2017.
Kevin Wimmer says yeah 2018 I think. After I lost $300 because of the crashes I said fuck it and MVOED to Sierra chart. Doesn't look as good as NinjaTrader, but not one single crash since then. Stable monsters. Uzi Knesset says relatively speaking, I'm not using a lot of indicators. Just the inventory stuff and value candles. Only other chart is a 9-tick range bar volumetric chart for ZB. Uzi Knesset says but th at tick replay boy wow. Salim L says what's acne medication?
Sorry for the sound. Oh, you do hear that. Let me turn that off for a second. Let me turn that off for a second. So I can find it. Where was it? I swear that it was like straight up memory leak in the notes, but memory? Well, now I'm going to have to just try and go down here. Dun, dun, dun. I think it was before that. I think it was like late last year. Yeah. Somewhere around here. Psychological line. What's the psychological line? Displays the ratio percent bars that were up over a specified number of bars. A higher ratio may indicate the price is likely to drop. Anyways, there's one of the notes where you go in and you read in here and there's like a potential memory leak that they fixed. There's also ones that they fixed in the backtester, but I think that there's still a memory leak in the backtester. I still have problems with the backtester. If you load too big of a piece of data, it just like totally kills it. So you could go in and it would be like, oh, it only takes like, it doesn't even take a few seconds to go and back test this. So then you say, okay, well then let's add 10 years to it. And then all of a sudden it takes 4 hours and you're like, what the heck? And it's a memory problem. Anyways, Ninjas had their problems, but they've fixed a lot of stuff. TD Ameritrade API.
Salim L says Ninja has been a work in progress ever since trading was first created.
Well, I think that the thing is the thing with NinjaTrader 8 is that there was so many things they added in there that were like the tick replay in particular. Does anybody else have tick replay like that? You know, there's something too, especially when it comes to order flow indicators. I tell you what, like you can make the order flow indicators in Sierra charts, but it is such a pain in the butt because you have to basically write your own loop managing logic. Like in NinjaTrader, it's just when new data comes in, you tell it what to do with it. But in Sierra charts, you have to manage the queue essentially, and it sucks.
Kevin Wimmer says one platform that looks sexy is ATAS, but honestly not interested in switching again.
Well, so
unless Sierra chart disappears.
The only person I've met that uses ATAS was Hyperscalper, who was kind of the originator of the idea for the inventory cost basis stuff, although I think mine is substantially different from what he is doing now at this point. But he was originally using ATAS and it was having issues, and so he switched over to NinjaTrader. But he's also doing something weird. He's taking the data and exporting it into Java and then printing it out himself in Java. And I'm like, okay. And so his takes a lot of, apparently it takes a lot of processing to do his, and I'm not so sure that that's all necessary. I think that I may have some enhancements to how I deal with the hash maps that helps me avoid that. But That's why the code's a secret. That, and so far it seems to be really, really useful. So I don't really want to just give it out because I'm trading off of it. Though I have to say, here in the Treasuries today, action looks pretty random. It doesn't seem to be responding to that cost basis very much. People must be entering into some new positions here off of
Kevin
roll
Wimmer
and so
says,
forth.
yeah, back then I looked at autos, but I didn't like their price modale and they had no market profile back then. Also other features were missing, I believe. Salim L says Sierra chart is a solid product. Something NinjaTrader will never be.
I think that there's a lot of things that will like. You'll get a certain reputation, you know, and then that reputation will stick around even though this situation has changed. It kind of just, it's a really good example of how a fallacy that I think people will do in markets that you can take advantage of. I give you a really good example of one that I think may happen in the future. Everybody's on this stick that we're going to have a lot more inflation. And they believe that because the Federal Reserve is changing how they measure inflation, that, we're likely to have a lot more inflation in the future than we've been having in the past. Well, number one, you just got to remember that we really haven't been getting inflation, at least not from the measures that the Federal Reserve has been looking at, especially not on pay. Okay. Hourly income is not increasing. It has not been increasing in line with the inflation like it should be. But here's the thing: what the Federal Reserve changed, they were kind of already doing this. like the Federal Reserve, we've had inflation run above 2% over the last 30 years or whatever, many times. And it really is a symmetrical target. And I think that they always kind of understood that to an extent, but not enough that they thought that it was important enough to put it as part of their policy and this and that. So now that they have an average target, but you notice that they said, well, we'll allow it to run. If it's been running under, we'll allow it to run over for a little while. But they didn't actually specify a metric. They didn't come in and say, well, this is the formula that we're going to use to determine if inflation is running at a correct pace. So, why does that matter? Well, there could come a point at which the market will have to rebalance off of this. The market thinks that there's going to be a ton of inflation. And what happens if the market continues to do what it's been doing for the past 10 years and inflation continues to run under the target? And the more that the Federal Reserve tries, the harder it is to create that income growth because of the output gap, right? Then a lot of market participants are going to have to rebalance because they're going to be in this mode of like inflation. When the reality changes, they're going to be slow to change, right? Kind of a rant there, but something that I foresee possibly happening. Because I was watching on like TikTok, people were talking about inflation on TikTok, and like, oh, this is so bad. This is going to be so bad for the middle class, and it's going to exacerbate, current income inequalities and this and that. It's like, well, but actually, like, we're supposed to have 2% inflation, guys. We're supposed to have 2% inflation. We haven't been getting it. And that's been bad for people. That's exacerbated income disparities because people that have assets, especially stocks and so forth, they're making money. And all of the middle class people, they can't do that, that just have to really rely on their salary. They haven't been getting more because they're falling behind, essentially, because you're not getting income growth. You're not getting personal income growth. Yeah. And really what they changed wasn't that big of a deal. But everybody seems to think it does. So then is it a big deal? I guess because people think it is, I guess.
Paul Borg says, I understand that you do not want to publish your exact strategy, but as an influencer, do you not think it would add to your credibility if you shared your trading history on one of the many?
So Paul, well, hold on. There's this quack is saying something. Oh, I guess there's more. He was just saying something about a Canadian number that was coming out. So we share trading history all the time. Hold on. So lately, we haven't gone over it lately just because it's been the summer, and so we've done some good stuff, and our strategy has done really really well. By the way, there was a period there for a month or two where we only had, over the 2 months, I think we had 3 losing days. I think it was. I was trading it on Sim on Friday and it didn't do very well. And that was a day where, you just have to set your limit. And if I had set the limit a little bit better, then it wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But because, it was Sim and I was testing the strategy, I just let it keep going. So I would say that the strategy is done really well, but we haven't tested it in a market that I think matters. So we'll go through September, see how the strategy does in September, and then we can look at those stats. But in terms of like the credibility and things like that, I don't want people to be following me because they think that I'm some profitable trader and that if they follow my trades that they'll be profitable too. My entire philosophy, my entire approach to trading is essentially that you can't do that it doesn't work. So I don't want you to follow me. What I want you to do is I want you to collaborate. I want you to say, well, here's something that can affect markets and here's something that can affect markets, and everybody kind of sort things out on their own based on what they think about the market. It's quite a bit of ticking down here, by the way, so we may be seeing some larger orders entering into the market. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I don't really care about the credibility, to be honest. I mean, I could go back and I could, here's all the income statements and yada, yada, yada. But then it's like, then what if I start doing poorly? Because I know that it can change, So I think it's better to just not focus on it and say, we're here for camaraderie, for entertainment, and to collaborate, and not as I'm the greatest trader, you should follow me, yada, yada, yada. Right? So I guess the short answer to that is I don't care. And the things that I want to be an influencer on, I don't want to be an influencer on market strategy. You get what I'm saying? Like the things that I'm an influencer on is like, what is the best software? What's the differences between data feeds and brokers and things that there are actual, like, you can make factual judgments on. You get what I mean? Like I can sit down and I can tell you for sure NinjaTrader, still seems to have some workspace issues. I've had it crash on me. I think that that's largely due to some indicators that I'm using. Live Action said you asked what may be affecting bonds earlier, and he's got a link for me. Thank you very much. Jump in 30-year Treasury yield raises expectations of Fed purchases. I see. Investors are raising expectations the Federal Reserve will act to tame a upturn in yields by expanding its purchases of long-dated Treasuries, after the U.S. Central Bank said it would allow inflation to run higher. I see. So now I don't know if there was something that I missed here. Oh, Fed's Clarita. Forward guidance in large-scale asset purchases have been and continue to be effective ways to support the economy. The new goal of average 2% inflation over time represents an aspiration and does not tether policy to any formula or rule. They're selling on that? Well.
Uzi Knesset says basically, we don't watch Seth because we need someone to blame when we fuck up, lol.
Yep. Exactly. And you know what?
Salim L says at Kevin Wimmer, you are fired.
Based on the traders that come here and stick around and are here literally every day and collaborate with us, I think that strategy has worked out. Because when you look at other places, you get like a lot of turnover and stuff. On the Discord, there's a good amount of turnover because it's pretty general. But here on the stream, it has been like the same group of dozen guys or so day in, day out. So I don't know if all those guys are making money, but at the very least, they're very, very dedicated to it. And so, because of the way that we run things, we get traders that are very invested in becoming good traders. And I think
Kevin
we've
Wimmer
built a
says
good
it. Salim
community.
L feels bad, man.
So, are any of you short on this? I don't want to take. I mean, I guess I was a little bit late because I was blabbing, but I don't intend on taking any trades today because of the Monday. Fed Vice President Clarida appears unimpressed with both negative rates and the U.S. yield curve targeting. Richard
Uzi
Clarida.
Knesset says that's because a trading influencer is only worth a shit while they make money.
Yeah.
When they fuck up, the fleeting retail crowds that follow them go look for someone else to follow.
Yeah. And, you know, it has been the case a few times where we had really bad days,
Kevin Wimmer
right?
says I don't intend to short equities. Like ever lol. Long only gang.
Long only gang. He indicated it is not likely now and reiterated the central bank's rejection of negative interest rates.
Uzi Knesset says wash, rinse, repeat.
So is the E-mini coming down because the gap overnight was just too high, or are they really that disappointed by what Clarida is saying? If they are that disappointed, I think that they haven't been paying attention to what the Fed has been saying. But you know, what are you going to do?
Salim L says looks negative on your Vista map. Yo,
Oh,
the
yeah.
term Vista map is something I didn't until Seth told me about it.
You didn't know that they called it the Vista chart? Well, that's what Jigsaw calls it, because it's a high level overview of the order flow. I don't know. I'm still a little bit skeptical about how actually useful the Vista chart is, to be honest with you. The thing I like about it is the way it shows
Uzi
cumulative
Knesset
delta.
says DJI is heading into filling a gap from the initial plummet. I figured an index-wide correction would be coming soon.
Man, another burp. How do you get that much air? Where does that, man? How does your stomach produce air like that? What is the chemical? We need to search this up.
Kevin Wimmer says I don't associate anything good with Vista since I had Windows Vista. So bad name.
Most belching is caused by swallowing excess air. The air most often never even reaches the stomach.
Salim L says Vista charts are like vegan diets. Everyone praises them but they have the opposite effect.
Everybody praises them. Maybe it's like that in your country. Here in the United States, telling people that you're vegan is like, they're either really into it or, man, that's a toxic topic. Now that I'm thinking about it. I think I have upset the balance of useful bacteria in my gastrointestinal tract. I need to do something about that. Too much meat all at once probably is messing them up. And you need some fiber for the good bacteria. I need to go and get some kimchi. Yield caps an option if circumstances change markedly, like, for example, if there are more sellers than buyers, says Siraj. Oh, my. I didn't know. That wasn't coming out over here, was it? What is David Portnight tweeting about here? I had 1 Tesla stock. Now I have 5. Simple math. I like 5, not 1. Oh, geez. That's what they're tweeting about. You know what? We should pull that up, shouldn't we? Let's look at that weird. I hate that effect in the background from the light. I guess it means I need better lights.
Kevin Wimmer says, are you going to stream the election night? Thinking about staying awake and watching this shit show.
Oh yeah. I am, but I don't know if we will stay up super late that night because oh man, I mean the thing is that we might not get a final conclusion on election night. Donald Trump. If I didn't insist on having the National Guard activate and go into Kenosha, Wisconsin, there would be no Kenosha right now.
Men burp and do other nasty things just like Vikings. I just watched a Viking documentary. They are, ooh, Seth full screen 4K. Next time nipple reveal.
Nice. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Let's see here. There would be no Kenosha right now. Also, there would have been great death and injury. I want to thank law enforcement and the National Guard. I will see you on Tuesday. He's going to Kenosha on Tuesday.
RJ Wheel says ULL had to live stream for a month.
Like, is it going to be, man? I am not looking forward to trading markets if it's a month before we know who won the presidential election. You know what I mean? I think that one of the problems is that the way that they've been promoting things, Republicans are almost certainly going to all go on election day. They're all going to vote on election day. So the Republicans will have an advantage in election day, and then in the late counting and stuff like that, the Democrats will have an advantage. And so then it will turn into, well, these were received late, and there's going to be all these legal challenges over these mail-in votes. And then it's going to be, why are the Republicans trying to disenfranchise everyone? You know what I mean? It's going to be a total shit show. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. If we could just come in on election night and Donald Trump just wins convincingly, that would probably be the best thing for everybody. Because I don't think that Joe Biden could win super convincingly at this point. I don't think that the conditions are there anymore. So if Joe Biden wins, I think it would be close. Flattening impulse into the Treasury curve in the wake of Clarida remarks, yield curve control still in the potential toolkit. Remember, July FOMC minutes leaned back heavily against the tool, with big month-end Treasuries duration extension flatter might have been the path of least resistance, some think, coming out from Rand Squawk. Let us come over and look at some spreads here and just add a couple of things. Let's make sure that all of our spreads are good.
Salim L says, yes, sir, Donald J. Trump America.
See me spreads. Intercommodity spreads. Codes. Treasuries. Okay, here we go. So I want 2 and 10s.
Kevin Wimmer says, no, I disagree. I have a bet ongoing that Joe Biden is gonna win. So I am not allowed to lose this bet. I am never gonna financially recover from this.
What? How much did you put on it?
Kevin Wimmer says $5 or $5.
Oh, geez, Kevin. Oh, man. Oh, wait, it's 2 to 1. It's 2 to 1. 2 to 10s is 2 to 1. Okay, so I am seeing some flattening in the 2s and 10s. Flattening, yes. So they're saying it's happening. I'm going to bet you that it's going to be more dramatic in the knob, though, right?
Kevin Wimmer says was just a joke bet between me and a friend of mine, but still want to win lol.
I understand. I understand. 10-year versus T-bond. It's 5-2 now? Good grief. Oh, okay. That's what I had. Cool. Ew. Ew. So after the roll, the 10 and 30 steepened significantly, but so they've got a ways to go in there on that one. So interesting, but it's a bull flattener, huh? It's a bull flattener, apparently. This one, the 5-year, I'm going to add. What should I do? 10 in the 5s? Let's do the 10 in the 5s. I think that's what we were doing. So that will be 5-year versus 10, 3-2. ZF, ZN, 3-2. And then over here on the ZB1, let's also add a spread for the 5-year so we can see the large gap of the curve.
Sunday Driver says, what up?
There you are, Sunday. How have you been? The FCB is going to be 4-1. Okay. So they're all kind of doing the same thing. So we're getting flattening, but it's not incredibly dramatic, but it looks pretty dramatic on the tape at the moment. Chinese military says it strongly demands India withdraw its troops from China-India border in order to avoid the escalation of tension. We are talking necessary countermeasures and will pay close attention to developments and resolutely safeguard China's territorial sovereignty. Really? Is this really
Seth is
blowing
trading an
up?
art or a science?
Oh, it's definitely an art. Anybody that ever came in and thought trading was a science would traded it for a while and then was wrong. And, you know. It's both, really. You need both. So let's see if we can read more on this. Read more on this border clash. Because I was under the impression that China started it. North Korea allegedly broadcasts spy messages over YouTube? What? Trump dares Biden to utter Antifa after feeble response to murder and mayhem. Come on, where is it? Where is it? I saw a story about it on Zero, but on Ransquawk, but not Zero Hedge.
Yuri says hi everyone, slightly smiling face.
Good morning, Yuri. How are you? I want to see more about this India thing.
Salim L says I wanted to write down my setup. I found out I was talking about price like she is a woman I loved and cared about shaking and dancing for me.
Best you're going to give me is CNN. There's Bloomberg. We'll read it on Bloomberg. I've reached my free article limit. Wait. Open new private window. Can I watch it on Bloomberg now? Private window wins once again, Bloomberg. Okay. Boo. Fine. I don't want to read your stupid website anyways. BBC, that would probably be an okay source. I'll read it on Al Jazeera too. Sure. India has accused China of violating the border consensus reached between them during recent peace talks. It said Chinese troops carried out provocative military movements to change the status quo in Ladakh. At least 20 Indian soldiers died in clashes with Chinese troops in the region in June. China has not said if its soldiers also died. The two nuclear powers accuse each other of crossing the poorly demarcated border and provoking the fight. China has denied that its troops violated the status quo. Chinese border troops have always strictly observed the line of actual control and have never crossed the line. The border troops of the two countries have been in communication over territory issues. China's foreign ministry spokesman Zhao Lihan said. Zhao Lihan. I forget how you say J in Chinese. Anyways, but Delhi said that Indian troops preempted Chinese activity on the southern bank of Pangong to So Lake.
Yuri says, do you have any niche today?
Any niche? What do you mean? We undertook measures to strengthen our positions and thwart Chinese intentions to unilaterally change facts on the ground. It added that Delhi was committed to peace talks, but also equally determined to protect its territorial integrity. Analysts say that such a public announcement from India suggests that the relative peace on the border has been broken. Okay. And then we jump back over here to Twitter. Chinese military says it strongly demands India withdraw its troops from China-India border in order to avoid escalation of tension. Well, if I was India, that would really piss me off, wouldn't it? China moved, and then they're saying, because we moved, you have to completely withdraw? What?
Yuri says, same best juicy entry, tongue out.
No. I don't know if we have any good entries today. Oh, we had an okay move down that we missed, but I'm not expecting a whole lot for today. Donald Trump Portland is a mess, and it has been for many years. If this joke of a mayor doesn't clean it up, we'll go in and do it for them. She should stop saying that, but whatever. I don't think he's going to do it. Zero Hedge complaining that the max option strike price is now only $800 for a Tesla. China urges India to withdraw illegal occupation force. Wow, why they're really going for it. This seems like just flat out gaslighting. Oh, we're not making a move. But you need to remove all of your troops now so that we can just take over. No. I bet you there's going to be more clash. So the issue we get here in the E-mini is still that it's like a holiday for the London traders, and it's the last day of the month. So I'm not expecting a huge move. Not that it can't happen, but just because we had a pretty
Sunday
okay
Driver says
come
would
down
be
in
good
the
for
morning.
US manufacturing if China and India went to war.
Maybe. But just because we had a pretty big turn down before the open doesn't mean that we'll continue to have a lot of action. So I'm going to be hands off for now. Okay, so what is Tesla doing? Tesla was up overnight and has come back considerably. And just for my sake, I need to calculate a couple of, let's see here. Oh, Okay, so 400 is no. Oh, 1500 is 300. Okay. I'm bad at math apparently because I should have been able to calculate that in my head. Mm-mm. The VIX is up quite a bit. VIX is up 8% and has not closed higher since July 28th. Would it be good for U.S. manufacturing if China and India went to war? I don't know, man. Thinking about that, do we provide jets to India? I think that they have F-21s. And they have F-15s. Here we go. They have jets from all over the place. Helicopter, training aircraft. It's complicated.
Sunday Driver says I'm thinking they would both wipe out each other's manufacturing base.
I don't know, man. I think that if this escalated to all-out war, I don't think that they would want to take it far beyond that one spot. But it could certainly escalate because if India loses any control over that area, China can do all sorts of nasty things to them with water. So there's a reason why India is so adamant about it. I think that India has more to lose in that area than China does. Put it that way. How much do you think Tesla can move today? And do you think that it will sell after the split? I thought that there would be some selling after the split, but that it wouldn't be the first day or maybe not even the first week. So let's see what it does. I'm really curious. I'm not familiar with this kind of a move, so it's hard for me to know. Yeah, the index says churning quite a bit here before the open. User reports indicate Robinhood having problems. Really? We having Robinhood is down? Maybe we're actually getting something here. The VIX being up has me a bit. Why is it up? I mean, we did have a sell off in the E-mini, but it's not like it was just a retracement. Is VIX really concerned about it? I guess this is going to be a really, really interesting first few minutes. Oh, wow. So, I guess we should get into the politics stuff because over the weekend, a Trump supporter was killed in Portland. So the Donald Trump supporters had a parade where they all got in their cars and drove through downtown Portland. I'm seeing people on the left calling it an invasion of Portland, which is really just quite ridiculous. But there was a guy after the parade hanging around in Portland for who knows why. And there's a video where you can say, here, there's a Trump supporter, get him. And then there's shots fired. So the Trump supporters are basically saying that Trump supporters are being hunted down and killed. That's what it seems like to me. I'm trying to be unbiased here about it, but so I don't know if this one is going to blow up. I mean, it certainly is having an impact on the right. The left seem to be trying to counter it. I have to say, I've seen some articles that just were like outright gaslighting about this stuff. But so let's read here. The friend of Jay Bishop, who stood next to Bishop when he was executed in cold blood, has spoken out, saying the pair were deliberately hunted down by leftists. Bishop was shot dead on Saturday night in Portland. Video footage of the incident shows someone shouting, "We've got a Trumper right here," before another person responds, "Right here," before firing 2 shots. Leftists in Portland later celebrated the brutal murder by dehumanizing Bishop, who was a member of the conservative Patriot Prayer Group, as a Nazi, which that is not true. A friend of Bishop's who was with him when he was shot told in an interview that they executed my partner. They hunted him down. They hunted us down. They recognized our Patriot Power hats. He then confirms what is heard in the video, that a conversation took place where the men were identified as Trump supporters and Bishop was shot dead for that reason. The friend said that immediately after discharging his weapon, the shooter ran away. He still hasn't been caught by authorities. I'm okay. I turn over and Jay's dead because he believed something different than them. He was a good man. He didn't do anything to earn a bullet in the chest, said Bishop's friend. Asked what his message would be to President Donald Trump, Bishop's friend said, "Send troops. Portland is as corrupt as any place you've ever seen or heard about in the movies," said the friend, adding that Patriot Prayer members are being charged with felony rioting, while the actual Antifa rioters who throw explosives at police are set free by the district attorney. Those people are being let go, he concluded. Yeah. Oh, yes. So another point that's not here in this Zero Hedge story is that apparently the man that they believe shot him, and he has not been apprehended as of yet, the man that shot the murderer had been arrested for disorderly conduct and possessing a weapon and so forth at a riot in the past, and the DA let him go. So now they're going to say that these DAs, letting rioters off the hook and stuff like that has directly led to somebody dying. There's going to be some fallout here in Portland off of this, I think. I'm just not too sure. I think it just reinforces what happened in Kenosha. So interesting. Okay. Vince Claridis says, "We believe in many circumstances it would be appropriate to aim for a modest overshoot to show inflation can operate on both sides of the goal."
Salim L says, "I think I am ready for Lilo but need an outsider to pre-test me."
Wait, what are you talking about? Okay, let's zoom in here. I don't like that here in Fidelity, my ability to zoom in and out is very limited. Okay, E-Mini had a little push up, had a little push down, is kind of towards the bottom of this. The moment, we'll see if they go for another extended session low or not. That would be below 3,550. or rather, RTH low is ETH low. Donald Trump. I've been getting really good polls, some over 50%, except one fake poll done by ABC News, which gives no information about the sample Republican or Democrat or anything else. They did this last election with 1 week to go, down 12 points, and I won. They are discussing fake news. That's Donald Trump tweeting. So there they went for a few ticks more. I cannot say how likely we are to continue going. I do see that there was a good amount of shorts there in the extended session, and they took them off. So it's really hard for me to try and take a continuation lower trade here. Well,
Salim
this
L
has been
says, what
more
do you think
eventful
is
than I
single most
expected.
frequent news that causes the most volatility in the market?
Donald Trump. So they're holding it for now. Oh. Why did it do that?
Salim L says, so Trump is scalpable for a few ticks.
Clicking here in the ZN. Flood's Clarita is still speaking, by the way. Are having a bit of issues there. Move that. Tighten it up a little bit here. Does look like buyers are buying. Buyers fighting pretty good here. NASDAQ seems to be moving up. Good. I'm hearing stuff about the TikTok deal. I guess Oracle is still in it. Am I seeing VIX turning? Yes, I am. Good deal. Donald Trump tweets, law and order. Radical left mayors and governors of cities where this crazy violence is taking place have lost control of their quote-unquote movement. It wasn't supposed to be like this, but the anarchists and agitators got carried away and don't listen anymore. Even forced Slow Joe out of the basement. Okay. That would be so weird if Oracle won the TikTok thing, don't you think? Trump is Trump is scalpable for a few points, man. Sometimes when he says the right thing, man. Okay. White House aides conceding Microsoft is TikTok's best position to secure data, RE national security, but Oracle remains Trump's favorite because Trump has a relationship with the Oracle CEO, apparently. But I guess that just means they're rooting for certain people, but that it looks like Microsoft is going to get it. Okay. So we got a good possible reversal here. It kind of depends now on how much these are going to come back and so forth. They definitely, when they're buying, look at how it goes. And I'm getting clicks when it buys. Yeah. Ba-boom. So if I get that, I want out. So NASDAQ is being pretty, what is the word we're looking for? Pretty wild at the moment. I always have a hard time finding the right adjectives, don't I? Need like a list or something. Can like use what we should do is we should make a list and then create a spinner and then I'll use that to describe the market. Well, there NASDAQ goes new highs. Yes. Not quite coming along yet. So there does seem to be a fair amount of absorption against this move, we should note. Inflation expectations are critical to policy, but they are unobserved, says Vled's Clarida. Okay. I don't know what that means at all.
Salim L says, who wants to Prelilo test me?
What is that? Wow, India reports world's largest single-day jump in coronavirus cases with over 78,000. Yeah, but they're using Chinese tests probably, right? They're using those false negative ones. You've seen all this stuff where they've been saying that the test kits that they got from China were giving false positives at like an alarmingly high rate. See oil making a bit of an up move here. And gold's trying to eke it out,
Uzi
but
Knesset says,
nothing
of
too
course they
crazy.
were. This whole thing has been China's psyop.
Yeah. It really does appear that China was doing psyops on it, for sure. At this point, it's unclear what the overall scheme and plan was, but they were definitely doing shady stuff, and the overall effect seemed to be to try and get people in the United States to freak out over it, to damage the economy as much as possible. So it's like right there at 3504 or so, which is actually the point of control for the regular session, that we're having some issues getting higher. User reports indicate Vanguard is having problems. User reports indicate Charles Schwab is having... Wait, what? User reports indicate TD Ameritrade is having problems. What's with this? Retail all screwed up today? What's with that?
Uzi Knesset says studies in China were saying that COVID can waft up through toilets. Our media picked it up, the audience panicked, because no one understands that.
Yeah. Right?
Uzi Knesset says a virus can't waft up through a wall of water sitting in a toilet, and b traps under sinks and toilets are designed to keep sewer gases from wafting into your home.
Well, remember there was that whole thing about how they could detect the coronavirus in the sewage samples before the outbreaks occurred? Now, I thought that was incredibly interesting, but then nothing ever came of it. Kind of makes me wonder. There's NASDAQ making a move again. E-mini still incredibly tepid about it. Okay. Short's probably not going to be too happy about that last few ticks there. You see how it's like never just straight up printing through, but then when it does, it goes like, if you look at that. Okay, Claritta's event just ended.
Uzi Knesset says I'm sure you can detect in sewage, but the thing is, the way our plumbing is designed, it's specifically designed to keep sewage gases from wafting into your home.
Yeah.
It's why
yeah.
your house doesn't smell.
You're not going to
Uzi
catch it from the
Knesset says
sewage.
like a
No, you're
porta
right.
potty every day lol.
Did people really think that was the case, though? I'm sure that somebody would have read a story like that and thought that, of course. But okay. So back to 3501. NASDAQ pushing up. It looks like NASDAQ's going to go for another new high.
Uzi Knesset says you bet they did, and China's the one who told everyone that.
Nope, they came.
Salim L says, is COVID a real thing? I mean, is it not just another type of flu they want to use against Trump?
I mean, it is a real thing, but it was not as nearly as dangerous as we initially thought. When we shut down the economy, I mean, I think that there's still some argument to be made that that a shutdown was necessary, but certainly not to the extent that we did. Right? So Treasuries still looking fairly bullish. NASDAQ highs. S&P 500 struggling to hold. And I am seeing a lot of shorts being picked up on the S&P 500.
Uzi Knesset says COVID doesn't kill people, pneumonia does. Over the weekend, the CDC quietly revealed in datasets that 94% of U.S. COVID deaths can be contributed to upwards of 3 other comorbidities.
Well, so I've seen that story posted all over the place, and I really just don't like the way that people are interpreting it, to be honest with you. It's right there on their site too, huge numbers. Yeah. I mean, we've always known that the reason that coronavirus has a high comorbidity, which is that an average healthy person usually gets over it just fine. But that if you have certain complicating factors, especially anything to do with circulation, that the mortality rate is much higher. So the fact that 96% of cases had some other condition going on along with it is not surprising in the least. I'm not long the E-mini anymore. Wah, 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 wah. I was long. You know what? It was an okay long. I could have taken 2 points off of it at one point, but they even counted people who were injured, self-inflicted, and accidental. Well, sure. I think it was like if you died and you had it, then you would potentially be caught in the statistics. But the whole thing about did you die from coronavirus or not is so incredibly, I mean, come on. We all know that it's going to be more complicated than that. If you shot yourself in the head and you recover. But yeah, but that doesn't mean that, when you sit down and you say, that doesn't mean that 96% of those cases really shouldn't count as COVID deaths. That's not an accurate representation at all. If you want to go in and if there's suicides in there, then go ahead and take the suicides out. I don't think that's going to have a huge impact on it. You know what I mean? And there is always in the vast majority of cases, there is going to be some comorbidity. I think that giant bite or drinking from the same cup stop it with the noises. Respiratory viral infections often result in opportunistic pneumonia. Yes. But I don't even think it's so much that, Brandon. I mean, the thing is the people that are going to die are going to be people with like heart problems. Because apparently it's actually the blood circulation that really starts to get messed up from it. Rabobank says bombshells loom. Okay, so Trading Floor Audio says several trading platforms are currently experiencing technical issues. Perhaps that's why the E-mini hasn't just taken off here. I'm still getting some stuff that's telling me long. Trading platforms always have technical issues before the big falls to blast the assets of retail traders. Well, that has been the case lately. Outage is best indicator out there. But then the question is does it go down because of the outages, or do the outages happen because it's going down? There's certainly been some cases, like some of the biggest ones, it was definitely like it was down and that killed Red Hat or Robinhood. But I always want to say Red Hat because people just abbreviate it RH. Well, I don't like the way it's acting. I think I'm going to go to the bathroom, all right? Spikes in new retail trading accounts indicative of a coming massive wealth transfer. Pneumonia is not opportunistic. It's not a virus. It's just a state. Oh yeah, Salim has a good point there. So pneumonia is not like a bacteria. I think a lot of us think of pneumonia as like a bacteria. That certainly can happen, but what pneumonia is the state of when your lungs are like drowning or whatever, right? At least that's I'm not an expert on that. Let's check back over here for the VIX. The VIX is moving up again, so. And the Treasury is buying. U.S. appeals court vacates Trump administration decision to delay higher penalties for automakers that do not meet vehicle fuel efficiency requirements. That's another potential long, but it doesn't look to be responding to that one very well. Right there at 3,500. I am an English teacher, but I know my biology. Wait, is that what you do? Is you're an English teacher? Okay. Hmm. Yeah, still a little bit of absorption up there, huh? I do see an effort to short it, but I think that the shorts don't have a great position yet. The Treasury continues to pump up there and into O4 now. Okay. So most of that clicking is still happening over in the 10-year. This might actually be an okay spot to short the 10-year. It's either going to turn around here or the 10-year is just going to take off. Across the board in the Treasury complex, I see them running out of steam. Robin Hood investigating issues. Okay. Looks like they're going for the open again. And it's 8:05 my time. So about 10 minutes from now, we enter into the counter trend period. I guess so far we'd have to call the session negative, so we could see a turn up during that time. But we are kind of already seeing a bit of a turn up, so. Still pretty tepid and slow, but the cumulative delta has been buy all the way.
Salim L says, hey Seth, is marriage worth it or is it overrated?
Oh, it's totally worth it. You'll always make more money if you're married.
Salim L says on S.
Well, don't marry a futures instrument. That's not going to end well. If you marry a futures instrument, and I don't even know if that's legal, but you could set up a marriage ceremony and stuff. I don't think that an instrument like that can consent to marriage, you know? Okay, so here's the test. I'm just going to move that. See a little bit of buy-side defense right here. They seem to be failing. So I guess we're done. JP Morgan, a lot can happen in the next 60 days to change the odds, but we currently believe that momentum in favor of Trump will continue while the most investors are still positioned for a Biden win. Implications could be significant for the performance of factors and sectors. Well, that turn down and back up was awfully quick. I could try it one more time, but I don't know if it's going to work out for me. They just seem to be out for me today. No, I mean, is the downtrend coming on? Yes, I don't know. They did touch on the new low there, but it was kind of only like 2 ticks. You can still see the absorption. This particular one isn't really as good of a long setup. Still see a lot of shorts on though. Huashishin. Indian troops again pulled a stunt at border. They always think China will make concessions or to provocative actions in consideration of the overall situation. Don't misjudge the situation anymore. If there is a conflict in Pangyong Lake, it will only end in new defeat of the Indian Army. Hu Shishin, editor-in-chief of the Global Times.
Salim L says, my future wife only knows how to make money off of my
I'm
pocket.
telling you.
How is that going to make me money when I marry her?
I mean, especially if your wife works, but I don't know if that would happen in your area. But I'm telling you, you do make better decisions when you're married. There's no mistake that, especially in the United States, that married couples have more money. The people that don't get married often make poor decisions. Okay, well, they're pushing the top side of this again. We could try this right here. Trump advisor Navarro, White House to target more Chinese apps following TikTok and WeChat crackdown. It is critical that this country not use apps that are made in China or that can take in our data and go to servers in China. Okay. Trend looks promising, but it's going to probably pull back a little bit here. It's hard for them to make that one go offer. You know, he puked a bit there. Treasuries are possibly reversing here. There's a lot of volume going between 03.5 and 04. Well, could not have done worse today, guys. Could not have done worse. Man, why is it being like this for me? Why? I'm so surprised. I haven't had a run like that, such a bad run in such a long time. I still want to buy it. Well, it kind of looks like that the buyers kind of got a good spy here at 35.50 and it's just not running yet.
Rob MV3 Trader says rough day for me too. Missed a couple winners long NQ.
You're over clicking. What are you talking about, Celine? I just took what I tried to play a play. It just is not like turning. Maybe the timing is all wrong. Maybe I just needed to wait for the counter trend period. I mean, gold's going up, dollar's going down, 6J's moving up. Treasury's still kind of trying to hold this spot, haven't turned yet. VIX, flat so far. Tesla falling down initially, but bouncing back. Is there any ICEs to confirmed? What do you mean by that? Wow. Society Generale says the Euro USD to go to 1.25. Is there any icebergs to be confirmed about? Yes. Well, so I'm not necessarily seeing straight up icebergs that are actually showing up on my Vista chart, but there has certainly been some absorption on the offer here in the index. So Marketeer is saying that the SPY has long gamma right now, but that the QQQ almost has short gamma. 34.99. I mean, they're spending so much time down here. I suppose if they were to break, what could we be looking at here? 34.85 even? Yeah. Have a little bit of a head and shoulders here going on, but it's at the bottom. That's kind of a weird pattern. It's probably more of a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple bottom, really. Look at the 10-year. Wow, what the fuck? Why? That can't be right. That can't be right. Something is up. That can't be right. What? E-mini still looks like a buy. I don't know. The Treasury's going to flip back down around, I think. This is so weird. The 5 years getting thick as well. Yeah, by 8,000, that's like on par with the heaviest I think we've ever seen. I remember there was a time like a year and a half ago when we had like 10Ks on there, but that's pretty thick all of a sudden, isn't it? Somebody big just come online and work in the market here in the 10-year. How incredibly interesting. NQ hitting new highs again. RTH highs. Hmm. So there's an iceberg here at 3503.75 of about 600 contracts. I don't know why that one's not showing up here. Maybe I need to decrease my circle tuner. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Circle tuner shouldn't be 10. Okay. Let's leave it like that for now. Something's up in the treasury. And they're trading a lot back and forth at 04.5 as well. Investors are raising expectations the Federal Reserve will act to tame an upturn in yields by expanding its purchases of long-dated Treasury bonds after the U.S. Central Bank said it would allow inflation to run higher. Some investors said the central bank may need to address the possibility of buying longer-dated debt at its mid-September policy meeting, if not sooner. Investors had previously expected the Fed to introduce a policy at the end of the year. Fed cannot afford to have long rates go up significantly because it would undo everything that we have been doing for the past 6 months, Gershon Ditzerfield, co-head of fixed income at AllianceBernstein. Fed has purchased nearly $2 trillion debt to the start of the coronavirus, bringing its treasury holdings to roughly $4.36 trillion in order to keep interest rates low. They all want in on the treasuries, I guess. This must mean that a large player has decided to get involved in the treasury market and that they're going to make the market here. And just it's such a dramatic change. Like, I've seen it get to 8K, 10K before, but it was just like all at once, you know? Like, I looked over there, I think it was started at about 820, but I have a hard time telling 100% from my market depth here, but it looks like that around 820 is when they added a bunch. Oh, there it is right there. fuck? Shit. Not our day, man. Are you going full ham with the clicker? I'm not doing that. That is the 10-year treasury. Oops, that was wrong. Delete. I mean, what's going on here in the treasury should be positive equities, although the equity robots might not realize it because they think that the correlation is negative. But here, if they're buying it because they think that the Federal Reserve is going to be buying treasuries, and that means that the interest rates are going to be pushed lower. As good for equities. But alas, the E-mini refuses to cooperate with me today. Okay. There's a good little rocket up there. Oh, we get Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index here. We're looking for a reading of negative spot 3. Or no estimate, but a previous reading of negative spot 3. Ooh, there's a bill auction today, too. Well, should be getting a number here any second. Hate it when numbers are late. Get it together, Dallas Fed. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay. They're up there. I don't know. How is the VIX doing? Still sideways. Tesla taking off. 469 at the moment. I didn't touch 420? Oh, well. Well, whatever. Well, whatever. Okay, so the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, a 8.0 versus a previous reading of -3. There was no estimate on that number, but that's a pretty good number, guys. That's a pretty good number. And markets rallying on the news, it appears. Well, is that going to be enough to finally push out the shorts? Because there's a lot of short interest on. Yeah, seller's still trying to hold it there. You see that? Quite a bit of trade going back and forth there at 35.05 3/4. The Treasury took about 2 steps higher and has since pulled back. Again, I'm still seeing like something like uh, some significant overextension on the high. So if they're pushing up here, then that really would um, support the idea that some big players are coming into the market and buying up all of the treasuries. It might be settlement related. It could be. I mean, I've never seen that. I tell you what, though, I don't know, Octavius. The one time that I saw this, which was like um 20, I think it was early 2019, I think. Or maybe it was early 2018. But it was right at the change of a contract. So that they're coming in now after the contract is changed, as you know, because today is last call. Like nobody's going to trade hardly anybody is trading the old contract now. Almost everybody rolled over on Friday. Um. Anyways, yeah, this to me in the Treasury looks to me like the start of a new uptrend in the Treasury. And there's a good reason. I have a good reason for that to be happening too, which is that sounds like the Federal Reserve is saying that they're going to need to buy 30 years to keep the 30-year rate low because it's risen too high, which is startling. But that's what they were getting. What did they say? The Fed cannot afford to have long rates go up significantly because it would undo everything they've been doing for the past 6 months, said Gershon Distenfield, co-head of fixed income at Alliance Bernstein. I will link you guys the article from Investing that Price Action sent to us earlier. So, yeah. There's no size in the 30s? I don't know about that. I mean, they're at 300s now. 300s is a lot. Weren't we only putting up like 100 on Friday? Like the Treasury is coming back the 10-year is coming back here significantly. But if this is an uptrend, then I actually want to buy 03.5, right? Let's try it as an experiment. If this, oops, here. If I'm correct, then 03.5 should be a great place to pick it up if we can get filled. But man, when you're on the inside and you got 3,000 behind you, this is where things can get really frustrating. And the big question is how much of that is just one person, you know? Is what we're seeing really the result of one big player? It's possible. I think it's possible, at least. I don't really know. It's a little crazy to think about. Because, I mean, look at how much they put on. I'm wondering if we're getting CTAs triggered in here as well. I know a lot about CTA strategies, but that's a pretty big reversal from Friday. It's possible. I don't know. I think we would need to move up a little bit more for the CTAs to really be getting triggered. But Patrick Aroni says, raise your hand if you've bought the lumber rally and you've never traded lumber before and are clueless about the fundamentals. Right. That's funny. Okay. Well, we got about another 5 minutes until the end of the counter trend period. So far, the counter trend period has been up. Okay, buyers defending there. The open. They'll probably defend all the way to 3502. Fed's Bostic speaking now. Kind of, you mean he kind of, pace of the action here kind of slowing down. You do see some significant icebergs here. Over 1,000 absorbed. It's like 3504. You see that 22,161. You can see here the pretty churny and slow at the moment. Still not filled in the 10-year. Oh, they went for a new low there. Okay. Pretty solid pushback there, I'd say. For now, at least. I don't know if it might not be significant. I might be reading too much into this. I might be getting hyper focused here, to be honest. White House says Trump not planning to meet with Blake family during Kenosha visit. Okay. So they just have a press conference or something there. NASDAQ moving. Note that they're kind of dancing around the open as well here, so. Okay, so you can see below O2 that the buyer appears to be increasing his position. That's just my read. I can't say that that's for certain, but. Okay, that was weird. Oh, and the Treasury went right through me, didn't they? February will take a lot longer than people expected, says Fed's Bostic. That's not a comment that he hasn't made before, is it? I mean, that's certainly something that I've heard from Fed speakers recently. Well, we're past the counter trend period now. Okay. Curious. Pretty aggressive flip there. Is this going to close above the previous bar? Can it close above 3502.50? He's trying really hard. Oh my. What a turn. Well, that was really interesting. That was a really aggressive turn there. You said it was going to go. I didn't say it was going to go down. If I say it's going to go down or it's going to go up, just ignore me. That was a significant pivot there. I mean, it did go down, but you counter trended it. I think, I don't know. I don't remember what it was that I said, Salim, but I didn't intend to ever be like, oh, I think it's going down, you should sell it, or anything like that. I never intend to be meaning I really think that it's going to go a certain direction and you should take a trade off of it. Never mean that. It's over here in the Treasury. I wasn't paying attention, and it's a sim, but I should have puked into O2 half and then maybe bought it here. Okay, this is starting to look really positive in the E-mini. Oh, still some iceberging up there at the top around the 3505 area. Yeah, that's right where it was last time too. Ooh, he pushed hard though. Okay. So we're coming into two spot. Oh, okay. So they just traded through one spot of high liquidity at 3505 in the E-mini. There was another spot a little higher up that pulled. Oh, okay, so now it's there at 3505 as well. So let's see if they trade through it. Ooh, he ate through that quick. Okay, a bit of both sides here. It looks like it's going to take him a bit more than that still. Okay. Oh, no. So they've made it go bid, but they haven't been able to get it to stay so that they can hit into the next price. It looks like, oh, now that's interesting. We're actually like right on the edge of of stopping out all of the shorts. But I still see shorts like adding here. I don't see them puking. So that's interesting. I only trade a millisecond chart. By the time you say it's going down, even if it does, I would definitely be chasing price. Yeah. I'd like to see them go back into that 3505 again, and I think that there might be a little bit more iceberging, but they should be able to go through it. But let's see. I think that if there's some more iceberging up there and they break through it, that we could have some excitement. Well, something I think we should point out is that even if we do bust out the top here, this is probably the biggest fight that sellers have put on in quite some time. They've really there's really been some fight on this. I mean, we're a good 8,000 contracts cumulative delta positive, and they've been able to limit it to a good 5 points or so up. So there does appear to me to be just overall liquidity across the board increasing. I mean, we've certainly seen it in treasuries, and we're seeing it a little bit in the 10-year or in the E-mini as well. Not so much in terms of what they're showing on the book, but the amount of being absorbed is just it's a lot. It's a lot. So and we got a good 30 minutes left. I need to pee again. Man, what's wrong with me? Drinking way too much water, apparently. Mhm. Hmm. Clicky, clicky, clicky right there on the bed at 53. Yeah. I took a little dive there in the 10-year, a bunch of orders hitting into O2. NASDAQ hitting high again. Ooh. NASDAQ's doing really well. Hmm. They're going to stop short of the 01 half. I feel really hyper focused again. Coming up to the top of the hour, I'm just gonna take another break and walk away for a bit. All right. Okay, back.
Salim L says, are iceberg calculated out of limits? Bekwa say if they aren't, I don't think there are any futures that can trade out of the exchange.
So it's more complicated than that, Celine, because you're right that like there's like a future. You can't like trade an e-mini contract outside of the exchange, sure, but you could own a lot of stocks and you could be trading those stocks in a dark pool, or you could own a lot of treasuries and you could be trading your treasuries in the cash market and so on and so forth, right? The futures aren't the only, these are futures are derivatives. So there are ways to trade this outside of this particular market. And yeah, but the icebergs are calculated based on when they're hitting into a price and the level 2 doesn't change, indicating a refreshing order. So that's how they do that. It's an estimate. Okay, Treasuries approaching the regular session high now. They got through the 3505 that time. And Treasuries reacting by pushing back up a little bit. Well, I don't know if which one is wagging which. I would think that seeing the Treasuries moving up, that I would want to be buying the equities, but see what they do. Okay, so here they're gonna. Okay, not hitting into new high yet. Came close. There still looks like a good amount of liquidity above us in the spoos. I should call it the spoos. I always call it the E-mini, but I should call it the spoos. Spoos going NASDAQ hitting new highs. Spoos. Okay, there's a new high there in the spoo. and a little bit of follow-up action. I'm not seeing like hard stops per se. NQ, that was a new all-time high. E-mini pulling back. Alrighty. Okay, there was maybe a few stops there again. I'm not seeing a whole lot of volume coming in on the 10-year over. Oh, you know what? I don't have my. Hold on a second. I'll go fix these. I didn't roll over all of my things over in the Treasury. Didn't roll over my tapes. So that one's ZB. That one's ZN. That one's CF. Bet you that there's been all sorts of crazy block orders coming through here that I missed. Easy and ZF. Okay, cool. Good there. Motley Fool says Apple and Tesla's stock split hype has made both unworthy of your investment dollars. I agree with them, but you know what? Ain't nobody listening to us, Motley. What you gonna do? Everybody's sitting here watching it go. They don't want to miss out. And look, even today, Tesla taking off, heading towards 500. Insane. Absolutely insane. So do you think, how long do you think that this up move in Tesla can continue before they have like a significant down day? A week? Less than a week? Could it happen tomorrow? I guess it could happen tomorrow. Neither were kind of down on the open. That was kind of funny. It looks like the VIX is starting to come off a lot now. I see that we've recovered 0.3 half. So it looks like I made Overall, the right trade, but the wrong price. I really could have gotten no too, which is interesting. Oh, yeah, they're buying it up. This is a buy for the treasuries, man. I mean, the thing is that you're getting in now. I'd say you're still fairly early on the move in the treasury. You know, if this is actually going to be like a multi-week move, look at them hit into 04 half like they want it. Bad. So crazy. 2196 bought into 04. I tell you what, I'm just gonna hold this one in this simulated trade in the treasury. I'm gonna hold it until the close of the day.
PRT1 says Tia's new crucifix.
Oh
Lol.
jeez. It is really turning into a religion for some people, isn't it? I don't know, man. It's just everything about it makes me uncomfortable. So it's always I was watching this thing on TikTok. I made a response to the guy, but he was saying, people ask me, should I invest? What should I invest in? And then he's like, well, here's all the information that you need. And then they come back, should I buy Tesla now? Every time. That's everybody wants to know about that one stock. It's like you don't necessarily want the popular one. You want to be in it before it's popular. Why is this hard to understand? Oh man, that was a year ago. 1 year ago, former New York Fed President Bill Dudley wrote an op-ed urging the Fed to crash the economy and cost Donald Trump re-election. Yeah, that one was. I remember that. That wasn't exactly what he was saying, but it was pretty bad. I was shocked that somebody was writing something like that. Yeah, that was a pretty significant drop there, but we're back to 3505. So somewhere around 3508 here, they're going to run into some positions from the extended session. Overall, I don't think that those should be too influential anymore. There's way more volume is traded since then. You see a little bit of profit taking there, but
Ace Trades says, are we going long at 3,505.50?
sure. I have a 306, but I don't know. Pretty interesting pullback there, but I don't know if it's a big deal or not. I think Ace, I'm really liking my long in the 10-year right now, man. I think I could probably hold this until the options bit close today. I didn't get the best spot. I really would have liked O2, but the Treasuries is doing insane stuff
Ace
today.
Trades says, nice. How much are you up?
Well, I got 2 ticks on it right now. I've done awful in the E-mini. I took 3 losers in a row. And another one, it went 4 points for me, and I think I should be holding it, but man. The first few moves there were really awful. But this one in the treasury, I think what's happening is that
Ace Trades says I don't know what a tick means in Treasury. UG men.
oh yeah, so one tick is $15. So it's like up almost $50 in the Treasury. More than makes up for the loss in the E-mini, I'll tell you that much.
Ace Trades says nice.
So apparently some traders are coming in and are saying that the Federal Reserve isn't going to be able to afford to allow the 30-year to 30-year yield to rise like it has been.
Ace Trades says a mini chopped me out a few times.
So
Gary
they're
Rich
all
says
coming
if one
in.
engages in responses to trading via TikTok, it's like learning to have sex by watching cats and dogs in the streets. Catch my drift?
You know what? I know that a lot of guys,
Ace
especially
Trades says good thing no one saw it. Oh wait, it was in front of everyone.
right, it was really bad trading. I know that a lot of people are negative on TikTok, especially if you're the more conservative leaning people. I think you guys have it wrong. That TikTok there's actually a larger conservative following on TikTok than a liberal following. It's just that the liberal following is loud and make kind of pushes their accomplishments more, whereas the conservative side of TikTok is just regular people just posting stuff. But it is such a change in the way that people interact and stuff. It really is a significant and I think going forward, even if TikTok dies because of this whole China deal and everything else like that, I really think that format is going to be influential in the future. I really like it. Anyways, what was I getting in it? In the 10-year Treasury, this could be like a big inflection point trade in the Treasury. So this is something that if we were like trading a swing strategy, this would be a swing long in the 10-year note. And you got some pretty good upside on it. Like, look at the chart here. Right? This is where we've been. Yesterday was like really low. Now they're turning. They're probably going to move back up to the other side of the range. So we could take 139 even to 140. So there's already a good, 1,000, 2,000 in there. But then we could probably go even further than that. I don't know where the high is, but probably if you want to play this, it would be better to be in the 30-year. You can see the 30-year moving up really hard. So we're getting a bull flattener. Bull flattener.
Ace Trades says bad entry on ES.
Yeah, that one was a little... I don't know. The E-mini has just been struggling today. I'm not sure why. I mean, the NASDAQ is bullish, all new all-time highs, and the E-mini can barely even get like 5 points up. I also don't like that they came below the 3505 there because there was some significant action there earlier. Clearly, it sees that I took a tepid long there, and it's trying to mess us up. What is more important for the Treasuries? Interest response, the auctions, or settlement? What is making that drumming? Oh, I don't know. I was making noise, I think. I don't even remember what I was just doing. Oh, I was typing. That's what you were hearing. You were hearing me type. I was typing something, Just finished typing. I looked up my red aces thing. I'm like, what the heck? The Fed has achieved its goal, putting every financial strategist and professional out of a job as 10-year-olds now control the stock market, says Zero Hedge. Tesla is rising at a rate of $1 billion per minute. What the? What? Whoa. You sell that. Ooh, I would sell that. In Tesla? Ooh, that is a clear blow off top. Hmm. And was that the Treasury making all that noise? It was both of them. So much clicky clicky, huh? Fed bids for 6-month totals 6.2 billion. Mm-mm. Bunch of spreading action coming in here between the 5 and the 10. E-mini still fighting around here. When is options pit close? 3 p.m. Eastern time. Hmm. That to me looks like buyer side exhaustion and coming back to their cost basis. So well, that's disappointing, guys. I don't know. We did see like a turnaround here really fast back up the last time. I don't think we'll be so lucky this time. This may be crashing hard. I don't see news, but I do see stuff. No, I don't know. I don't actually see anything on Twitter that would really be a clear impetus for this. Just to trace back through their cost bases. So I can't catch a break in the E-mini today. What's with that? I need to be going short, I guess. Well, I'm tempted to just flip around, but I've clicked over there so many times today, I just feel dumb doing it again. So I think that today I'm going to hold off on that. Look at that. So I don't know what the cause of that was, but that was like a full out stop out. Did you watch the documentary on the Princes of Yen? Did one really understand the undertone of what it meant? I mean, it's happening. I don't think I saw that. 10-year order book looks a lot thicker today, it seems, than it has been. Yeah, well, yeah. It's 8,000. 8,000 at every level. That's significant, isn't it? Should we be just straight short E-mini? Well, I don't think that I can just sell there, but I think that I just got it wrong today in the E-mini, and I had a really awful day, and I don't know what to do. I could have taken some profits on some of those, but I just never went to where I was looking for it to go. I got 10, 12, 15 on all of those. No, I take that back. I got 18 and 18 on the first one. It's so weird. One, I didn't get any favorable ticks. But I haven't had a run like that in a long, long, long time. So is it that this just, there's been a switch and now it's completely different and what I was doing just worked really well in the summer? I don't know. So I don't know what caused that other than the buyers just capitulating. And Tesla did move down. It's interesting that Tesla moved down first before that happened, but it hasn't moved down that much. I guess I need to just bring in my targeting because I didn't get favorable ticks today. I think overall I would have come out a little above break even if I had really taken my profits in the right spot. So that still means that I'm getting it wrong, but it also means that I'm probably managing the trade wrong. It's really curious to me the way that this is playing out today. Treasuries panic bid. Equities just completely falling apart. VIX up. The VIX up was always our big warning, wasn't it? But if I had taken these short too, I would still be having the same issues, right? Unless I'd just taken that last one. Some crazy spreading action coming in here. Wow. Oh, how that falls apart. It's too late. Well, we can try and predict where they might have to stop at. 86.25. So they've still got a bit. I'm just thinking about if they come back up. I want to take it short. Something's definitely happening here. They're definitely flipping. I didn't expect it to happen today. I thought that we would see something like this, but I thought that it would happen after Labor Day. Okay, so here comes the bill auction. Treasury's pushing up as it goes. Have you ever tried to code an automated strategy for high instrument trading? Yeah, so T-Bone, if you look back a couple of days ago, I have a video on my channel writing I was something like strategy for tick or something, but it was, I mean, it's a multi-instrument, but I was using the tick index as the signal. And so you can kind of see a little bit about that. There is a section in the NinjaTrader 8 documentation under the educational. I will show you. If you haven't found this spot in the documentation, this is like required reading before you try to do something like that. So here under language reference, educational resources, multi-time frame and instruments. Read this whole thing. And they have examples of strategies, for instance, having to deal with that. And then you can come and ask me questions in programming in Discord. Gary's saying you're not a macro person. I feel like we kind of are, but I think that the Federal Reserve is going to have to buy more treasuries. I've always been saying that, right? I've been saying they're not going to get the inflation they want. This is the thing. You're kind of confusing me now because it sounds to me like you've been taking different sides of the argument. On one side, you're like, oh, well, gold. There's going to be crazy inflation. But then on the other hand, you're saying, oh, but the Federal Reserve is going to have to buy tons of interest, tons of treasuries to keep this afloat. Well, 105 for the 3-month. I was trying to write a stock trend strategy that correlates with the SPY. Oh, there you go. 0 spot 115. So the 6-month, it was lower than last time. Okay. Well, I think that's all I got time for today. I'm trading super awful in the E-mini. I don't know how long this can go on. I feel super frustrated is all I can say. They didn't really pull back very much. May have to just go. I don't know. There's always tomorrow. Yeah, but I'm watching this and I'm like, I think that there might be better opportunities to come just later today, but I don't know. I'm just going to have to stop for now and do better tomorrow. All right, guys, I will see you then. In the meantime, stay a profitable friend.